are fun. I usually play around a lot with him. So I sort of take the morning part, and Sonam usually takes the evening part. Yeah.
Anand, I have to interrupt. You were talking about sleep, right? Guess who gets to sleep 2 hours more? So Mai wakes up at 6 a.m. and so does my husband. So the mornings are with Anand and the evenings are with me. And right now,
I usually take him like swimming. So actually the morning, this up until now it's easy. It's the evening part, which is usually like, Sonam tells him stories, and I'm not as good a storyteller or a reader like Sonam is. Obviously that comes with her profession. So that's the tricky part. But up until now it's good, yeah.
No, you look, and what's great is that you look relaxed sitting over there, she looks relaxed sitting over here. And this is the conversation that we were talking about, having the best kind of home team. And I feel like what you're doing is you're being the home team, and it's such a great example.
No, thank you, and congrats on the campaign.
Thank you. What did you think, Anand, on the film?
Did you see the
campaign?
I didn't see the full campaign, but I know a little bit about it. I think Sonam was telling me about. Obviously you can tell by the hashtag as well. So, and I think it's a series, so it was there before as well, right? So I'm assuming it's like a continuation in that sense about making sure there's you share the load. It's something actually. It's interesting because Sonam and my brother talk a lot about it, and at home we talk about it because. Even in sort of our family's business in apparel manufacturing, there's a lot around teaching women and going home and teaching their husbands about, and kids, not only husbands, but also kids about sharing household chores. So it's something actually I've been very lucky to learn about over a long period of time. And Sonam and our brother have these very educated and intellectual conversations about it, and I get to learn from them. So it's a familiar concept for me. I realize it's maybe not as familiar for everyone.
I have to tell you also, we have a manufacturing business called Shahi, and 95% of the people in our factory are women. It's almost we have 1 lakh factories. We have 1 lakh, almost 1 lakh women. Wow. And my brother-in-law runs a program called Good Business Lab, where they talk about good business practices, and they do is to educate women on how to explain to their husbands to share the load, actually.
Yeah, these women, effectively, they come in and they get keep it quick, but they get training and they're working, but a lot of times they feel guilty and they skip breakfast. And so actually the first class that they teach is about the importance of breakfast, because to stay healthy and making sure that, their kids and husbands help. So, it's very sort of nice to see, Ariel get into talk about the same responsibility for both sides, for women to be open talking about it, and for their partners to be receptive and learn from it and unlearning a lot of, old habits.
Anand's grandmother started the business.
Yeah.
So she was working where her husband was at home.
Yeah.
Well, I must say that's absolutely fabulous, and that's where I feel like the shift of the numbers comes in, from people actually doing to brands actually taking the voice forward, and like Ariel is with Share the Load. Anand, thank you. You've been such
we work as I would say we're consultants to make it easier for. We have a job when we have a job, right? It's not a job that you go every day to and you have to show up, and he's the boss, so he has to be there, even if he has to be there. So sometimes it's me being like, okay, you have to go to work, and then I won't. And I realized maybe 2 years into our marriage where I was just like, I'm actually, because he's got so much work, I'm not doing a lot of and like you said, it's about self-care. You want to do the work. You are ambitious. I've worked since I was 17 years old, and that's a huge part of my identity and who I am. And it is something that I really always want to do for the rest of my life. And I had a discussion with him, and he's like, I feel bad because I should have encouraged you more to take up work and to do things, and I didn't realize, it's like conditioning. He didn't realize it, and then as soon as he realized it, he was just like, I remember he got on a call with Neha, who's my manager.
Not me, guys.
Yeah, not you. My
You
Neha,
call me
who's
for
here.
any deals for
Oh,
Sonam.
yeah. And he's like, you know, there is no way, if it concerns travel, that she should not work. Because my husband and I live between 3 cities. And right now we're predominantly in Mumbai because of my work. And honestly, I was in Delhi right now, and at my in-laws' house, and my husband and my son are all there. And I have traveled for this event and for another shoot because I know that he'll be well taken. My son Vayu will be well taken care of with my son, with my husband over there. So it's just a matter of learning with each other and reconditioning our mind to think differently. So even though I've always proclaimed to be a feminist, I don't know how I went back into thinking that way. Even though my mom is not like that, my mother-in-law, the first thing she told me was never stop working, even if you're married. And I'm married, touch wood, into a very stable background and a very stable household. So I just think that it's not about anything. It's society that makes you feel like it's completely a responsibility to take care of the house, to take care of your child, to take care of the whole load is on the woman. And believe you me, women are more than capable of taking care of it, but why should we? Why should we be doing that? You know? And that's something that I had to unlearn as well, you know? And so I'm so happy that, you know, a brand like Ariel is thinking about that.
I am
Give us one.
so blessed.
Give us one.
I'm blessed. I'm so to have him as my son-in-law. He's like my son, and he's wonderful. And how beautiful she's looking, you know. And she's here.
Is that because of him or genetics?
I think now more because of him, because he's sharing the load, you know. He's in Delhi looking after. This is just so many things, you know. The calmness, the way he and you both, the mental load which they're sharing, I observe it from a distance. And when I'm there, I don't have to, I can sense it, I can feel it. And just, nazar na lage, fingers crossed, please.
When he was talking about the 79%, he answered as a husband, and now he's moved on to talking like a dad. It's great.
Sometimes, you feel scared to praise someone so much, you know. But kya kare, dil se nikal raha hai.
He's not here, so it's okay.
Yeah, but I work with your husband also.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a wonderful boy.
Obsessed with Angad.
Yeah, I'm talking about Anil. And
who's also in Delhi with the
in
babies.
Delhi, and he's wonderful. And the way you all are, I'm so happy for both of you all.
Thank you.
Trust me when I'm saying that.
Yeah, I know I do, because when I got married and you gave me a tight hug and you said congratulations and I'm really happy for you, and I remember you telling me, and I'm even more happier that you got married to Angad. Yeah.
He didn't give you credit.
It was because I got married to Angad. See, it was like, yeah, I know you're very fond of him.
Yes.
Yeah, and your choice in
I'm always right in these things.
yes. Well, it's really wonderful to hear stories that are straight from the heart. Now I'm going to move on to Mukta. You want to delegate, or I want you all to just do some of my work so that I'm just happier. Sometimes self-love lies in going to work, achieving every day, accelerating. And for me, sometimes self-love lies just zenning and staring at the ceiling. And ever since I've had my children, I don't think I've ever done that. Like, I just want to lie and stare at the ceiling. Yeah, share the load so I can do that. So, there's, I don't know, Sonam's laughing because she knows what I'm talking about. So? Okay. He's like, what is she saying? But there is joy in that as well. But
Spacing out.
yeah, it's that. But I'd like to wait for that, or like a 12-minute cat nap. Yeah, but there one campaign is about equal sleep. And it's great how you've taken it, and the progression has been step by step, addressing it mildly, but so importantly, and then the conversation changes. And I love the fact that the statistics have changed. The room, and over the past 6 seasons, has been immense. It's been massive. I've been a part of the movement, I think, from the very word go, and I see how much it's changed. So tell us a little more about it. Yeah, I mean,
in all these campaigns that you guys have been doing, especially because we're in such a patriarchal society. And it makes me really happy to see this. I've grown up in a very, I don't know how to explain it, in a very different atmosphere. Obviously, my dad and my mom have been very open-minded, and they have a true partnership in terms of taking care of everything. I was reminding dad of a story where my sister wasn't well, and my dad was shooting for Romeo and Mera in Rukki Rani Choru Ka Raja, and my mom was just like, just take care of her on set. And I was on set alone with my dad, and my sister was not well. She wasn't well, so she was with my mom. And I remember that one incident quite clearly, where my dad became the stereotypical caregiver, what we expect women to be, for a child. And I think that was something that I grew up with. So when I was looking for a partner, I was looking for a partner in the truest sense, where I'm sitting here like you are, Neha, and our husbands are with our kids, her kids and my one son. And I think that says a lot about the men we chose to get married to.
that's so well said. And really, I don't think that I could be up on stage or doing anything or have even 100% mental capacity to be present if my husband wasn't back home doing what he's doing right now. And there's no shying away from talking about it. And I say this with immense pride. So it really, it lets me be the person I am. And it's such a huge conversation. Not just we talk about self-love, but self-love is also about going out there and doing the things that you can do. And the only way you can do it is if you have a partner out there who understands your needs. And sometimes it's mental support, and sometimes it's actually being there and doing and taking charge and being the team at home that you need to be. Sonam, that was wonderful. Mukta, we're going to come to you. Say it on stage because he said it, but this is great. No, but I also think that this is exactly what we were talking about, parity at home. And these are the conversations that we want to have and go forward, and we want to continue having. And this is such a fine example of sharing the load, where there is equality, there's respect, and there are no questions asked. I feel like that's the space that's the point in a marriage or back home where everybody wants to reach at some point. And you're such a great shining example.
I don't know about the great part of it, but I think full marks to Sunita, my wife.
Always, yes.
And that's the best thing to do, is always give the full credit to the better half.
No, but I feel like you're taking it away from yourself also, and you're also doing a lot, but that's very, very sweet of you.
Most important, I think, is sometimes the mental sharing of load.
Yeah.
And today, that's become the key. That understanding has to be there between friends, partners, husband and wife, or obviously, that you share the load when you know that if I do this, she'll be more relaxed or he'll be more relaxed and calm. And you share that mental load, and automatically, see, physical load is fine. I'm not saying कि आप बर्तन मांज रहे हैं या खाना बना रहे हैं. You do it with joy. And when can you do every work with joy? When you have shared the mental load. Then automatically you share and you understand with one look of the eye, the walk of that lady, the person, the husband, the wife, the way she's talking, the way she's sleeping, the way she's sitting. You come to know there is something which I have to share the load, and you share the load and get that kind of joy and happiness, so that she can or he can do what they're supposed to do and then share the load. And that's what is also very important.
It's so true. It's also mental, the understanding the mental way.
Kind of a history, and I've been a huge fan of this whole campaign of Share the Load, because I'm part of it because I believe in it, and I have not believed in it just because that it's the most happening thing. It just happens. That's the way I am. I didn't have to make an effort to be the way that sharing the load. It just you have to be fortunate that that you meet the right life partner, life friend in your life, and and automatically you don't have to tell him or her what to do and what not to do. Share the load. It just happens very organically. So in my life, when I saw and I heard about the concept, I just identified with it and I believed in it. And I'm so happy that again I'm back over here with Ariel to not share the road, but more than that. Yeah. So, for me, I feel in my life, it started many, many years back when I first met Sunita.
50 years ago.
50 years old.
Wow, it's really been 50 years.
Yeah, 50 years we've been together, so, there were times when I met her, obviously I was not doing financially very well, and she was really taking care of a lot of things, and that's the way we shared the load, where she stepped forward to share the load where money is concerned. So it's not only just doing the household job. Like, for example, there are times when there are certain things which I couldn't afford, very small things, but I didn't have to tell her. It automatically, she would share the load, and like traveling sometimes, and sometimes we go out for a meal, and sometimes we go to a normal restaurant, sometimes we want to go to a slightly better restaurant. We're dating each other. So automatically she knows that, of course, I don't have the money to pay the bill. So she quickly slips out from a bag and she pays the, before I can come to know that she's already paid the bill.
She still pays the bills.
Now she's taking revenge.
She still pays all this. My dad has no idea.
Yeah. So that understanding has to be there between partners, friends, and especially husband and wives. That you share the load, and then when you share the load without really making an effort and not making it obvious and making that other person feel about it, I think that's the wonderful part of sharing the load.
Yeah. I truly agree, and